In 2014, DJ Esco found himself in a nightmare situation while on tour with Future. What started as a fun European tour quickly turned into a fight for his freedom in Dubai. Here's how it all went down. Esco and Future had a long history together. Back in the day, Esco was a popular DJ at Magic City, a famous strip club in Atlanta where rappers like Future would hang out. Their friendship began around 2008 when Future tried to give Esco a mixtape. Esco, being straight with him, told Future he didn't listen to CDs with another person talking all over them. Future appreciated his honesty, and from then on, they became close friends and collaborators. As Future's career took off, Esco became one of his main DJs, joining him on tours like the one in Europe. The tour was going great, and as it neared its end, the crew arrived in Amsterdam for a little downtime. Esco, whose birthday was coming up, was ready to enjoy the legal weed and party. Everything seemed perfect. But just as they were wrapping up, Future got booked for one more show in Abu Dhabi. The team packed up, headed to Dubai, and that's when things took a sharp turn. To the airport, everyone except Esco made it through without a problem. Esco was stuck behind. They demanded proof. They wanted to see him in a music video or on TV. But since Esco had stayed out of the public eye, he had no footage to show, and that made it even harder for him to get out of this mess. What followed was a tense and scary time for DJ Esco in one of the toughest jails in the world. His fight to stay free in a foreign country was far from over, but he would soon learn how to navigate one of the most terrifying situations of his life. DJ Esco's time in a Dubai jail went from bad to worse after he was immediately thrown behind bars. The police told him he'd be locked up for a couple of days, but things soon escalated. For the first few days, Esco didn't even get food or water, which only added to the stress. Then, he was taken to meet the prosecutor handling his case. In Dubai, there's no judge or jury, just a prosecutor who has the power to make decisions without even telling you what you're charged with. When Esco finally went to court, he was forced to admit that he had brought drugs into the country. He wasn't allowed to explain his side of the story. He could only say yes or no. If he had said no, the situation could have gotten even worse. After a few days, Esco managed to call the U.S. Embassy for help. 2 agents showed up, but when they asked if he was being tortured, Esco said no. After that, they left without offering any real assistance. Esco was stuck in jail with people facing much more serious charges, like terrorism. The jail was split into 2 groups, the Arabic side and the African side. Normally, inmates had to choose one group to align with, but since Esco was the only American, everyone wanted to talk to him. Weeks passed, and Esco had no idea how long he would be stuck there. He started adapting to the situation, learning some Arabic, learning about Islam, and trying to stay fit by working out. On the outside, no one knew what was happening, and there was little anyone could do to help. What ended up making a difference was Esco's relationship with the prison warden. The warden saw that Esco was being respectful and trying to make the best of a bad situation, so he decided to help. Esco finally got a lawyer, but the lawyer warned him that it could take years before he was free. That's when the warden stepped in, offering to call Esco's prosecutor personally. This was highly unusual since the warden wasn't supposed to get involved in legal matters, but he chose to help. A short time later, the warden came back and gave Esco the good news. He was going home in a week. If it weren't for the warden's intervention, Esco could have easily been stuck in jail for much longer. In Dubai, they have the power to keep someone locked up indefinitely if they want to. When Esco finally returned to the U.S. after spending 56 nights in that terrifying jail, he came out with a new sense of purpose. He was determined to be the best at whatever he did. Esco jumped right back into the studio with Future, and they created a mixtape inspired by his experience. They called it 56 Nights, a tribute to the 56 days Esco spent in that foreign prison. The title track of the mixtape? It was all about what he had gone through and how it changed him. That wild experience in Dubai ended up being a turning point in Esco's career, taking him to new heights after his release. While DJ Esco was locked up in Dubai, Future showed his support for his friend in a big way. On the track, 56 caught the case. When they took him into custody, they took my life away. For Esco, the whole experience in Dubai was life-changing. While plenty of artists and producers have spent time locked up, being in a foreign country where no one speaks English and not knowing how long you'd be behind bars was a whole different level of stress. It was a humbling and scary time, and Esco said it changed him as a person. When Esco started working on 56 Nights, the mixtape that would tell his side of the story, he didn't want anyone else involved. The story was so personal, so tied to his own experience, that he didn't want anyone else's input. He didn't even let Future hear the tracks until the entire mixtape was finished. It was his story, his journey, and he wanted to tell it without distractions. In the end, 56 Nights wasn't just a mixtape, it was a statement. A reflection of everything Esco had gone through and how it had shaped him. DJ Esco's time in jail and the release of 56 Nights turned out to be a major win for him and Future. The mixtape became one of Future's most popular projects, with iconic tracks like March Madness making a lasting impact. Esco's return to the US and the music world was a turning point, but not everyone around Future's team was as fortunate. Another person in Future's circle, Justin Wright, ended up facing a much darker fate. Justin Wright was a successful songwriter and the founder of Camp Entertainment Worldwide, a company that worked with major artists like Future, 21 Savage, and DJ Khaled. He had multiple platinum hits and was a big player in Atlanta's music scene.